Hi, guys. Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys doing this week? Molly, let me open the chat. I'll just give everyone a couple minutes to sign in. I was thinking we could just kind of wrap up last week's session, like a part two, and I put together a prompt to like help you redo your resume, and it's here, put a link to the, nope, that's not it. One sec. How many times a meeting do I say one sec and sorry? Um, Share, copy link. Hi, Annie.
Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Hi, just before we get started, I just wanted to double check, from Molly's session, I was kind of listening to the recording and she said something about process document and the workbook. Are we supposed to get those or is that something that's still in the works?
Yeah, so last week, were you here last week by any chance?
I think I was briefly, I'm always in and out of other meetings, but yeah.
Okay, I'm having a little problem hearing you, but so if you could just put your email in the chat. I did send it out to everyone that put their email in last week. Just put your email in the chat, and after the meeting, I will go ahead and email you all those documents.
Okay, yeah, I was here last week. I put in my email, but I'll put it in
Oh,
again.
did
I
anyone
think,
here get the email? I sent it.
it's coming from you, right?
Yeah, I sent the email, I don't know, 2 nights ago, I think.
Oh.
Let me see. Okay, good. So, yeah, just put your email in and I'll make sure. Okay. If you didn't get it last week, please add your email and I'll make sure I can send it during this call actually while we're playing.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, sure. Oh, it's going to be coming from my personal email address, vegascj@gmail.com. So maybe check your spam.
Yeah, let me check. Yeah, let me do that.
Forgot to mention that.
Okay.
And yes, I'll send it to anyone that adds their email to the chat. Happy to do that. Okay, so post a link to a prompt if you want to. So let's get a copy of your resume and just a job description. If you want to log on to LinkedIn and pull a job description, or I can just I can add like just some random one to the doc. Let me do that. So just okay. So let's see. So I'll start at like 12:35 once people get it. So yeah, if you want to click on the doc, meeting chat, there we go. Click on the doc, copy and paste that prompt, have ChatGPT open, have a copy of your resume open, and if there's a job description in particular that you would be interested in, you can open that up. Otherwise, I just added one, just like a dummy one to the doc. The doc is, let me put a link to that again, one sec. There you go. So what I wanted it to do, I wanted it to like prompt you for questions. So one question at a time. It's going to walk you through. It's going to ask you to paste your resume. It's going to ask you to paste a job description. It's going to make sure that your resume is up to date. So it's going to ask you, is your most current, position on the resume. If not, it'll ask you questions so you can add that to your resume. And then it'll ask you to paste the job description. It's just going to walk you through the whole process, and you'll create a resume and a cover letter. And I thought that would be a good way to like close out the whole job search topic. So for anyone just joining, again, that is the doc. If you can click on that and then have, hi Veronica, have your resume open and ChatGPT, please. So while you guys are like getting your documents ready, if anyone wants to show their video or come off of mute and say anything that you used AI for this week, I'd love to hear. Love to hear if you guys had any challenges this week or found a new tool. Love when we can share resources. Anyone?
Yeah, I can actually share something, but it's not AI related. It is something, and I don't know if everybody has this, but it's just a weird little trick where we have the Engage booking platform to book conference rooms and offices for our different offices. And if you're trying to book an office at another time zone, you're not able to do so. You're only able to book 2 weeks out. So for example, I want to book something for my boss on Thursday, March 5th, but I can't until it opens up. So I have to wait until like midnight tomorrow night to be able to do that. But if I change the time zone on my phone to like Australia and I go in the future, then I'm able to gain access to the system a little earlier. That's all.
Okay.
Again, I don't know if that's helpful to anybody, but it's
So you're basically time traveling? That's awesome.
that's basically what I'm
time
doing.
now. I'm just going to go into the future and make this happen. I love that.
So that's basically, it just, I was like, I wonder if I was there, what would it show for me there? And I actually can book something for Wednesday, the 4th. So now tomorrow, or I'll wait till later and then I'll do it again and then I'll see what time it is. I have to figure it out. But I was just like, So yeah, so then that way I get ahead of it. And because sometimes there's a challenge to book rooms. Everybody's, clamoring to do that. Anyway, that's it. Just a little and it can work for anything else.
Awesome.
So
thanks, Annie.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have anything that you used it for? Also, like around the midpoint of the meeting, I don't know if you guys are familiar with VimCal. Have you guys heard of that? So the two founders of that are going to be joining. I met with them last night. They wanted to, I don't know why, get my feedback on like reporting for the software that they're building. And they're super nice. So I just offered, I said if they wanted to join and get feedback from you guys on like what kind of analytics would be good. Like they're building out like the reporting section of the software, and they would love to hear from admins as far as like what you guys would like to see in a report. So I invited them to join. I think they should be coming on in about 20 minutes. So I'll give them a little time to kind of ask your guys' feedback. That's cool. But in the meantime, let's get started with the doc that I sent. Does anyone need me to post that again?
Oh, did you post it? I don't, did you email it to us? I don't see it, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Hi, glad you're here.
Hello.
One sec. Okay, so this is just a ChatGPT prompt, but it's like super, I tried to make it super thorough so that like it requires as little like thought from like you guys as possible. Like it'll prompt you for every question to get your resume like up to date and to match a job description that you're interested in applying for. I thought we'd close out last week's session with like a little demo. So if you click on that doc and copy and paste the prompt.
Courtney, hi, can you share your screen, please?
Yeah, sure. Hi. Okay, so here's the screen. I will copy and paste the prompt up to page 2. So okay. And then start a new one. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste that prompt. Enter. Okay, so the first thing that it does is ask me for the job description that I'm applying to. So I just did a test job description underneath. Let's see. So say you find something amazing, like a job that you totally want and it's on LinkedIn and it's from the company and it's legit and you're super excited. Hold on one second. Okay, so here's the job description. So it asked me for a job description. Hit enter. And what's the next question? Please provide your most recent resume. So do I have mine up? So I will go to my resume, copy and paste. Then I'll paste my resume here. Thanks for sharing your resume. I want to make sure that Dimension Capital, okay, would you like to add or emphasize anything specific for your role? I wanted it to like dig in and make sure, number one, that your resume is current. And if not, it's going to prompt you for, questions it's going to ask you your responsibilities. Where's your current role? What were the dates? It's going to like totally guide you in every step of the process. So, so the first question, would you like to add or emphasize anything specific for your role at Dimension Capital? In this case, I'm going to say no. Let me test it. Yes, please. Let's say the job was for, I don't know, personal assistant too. Please emphasize my personal assistant responsibilities, which by the way is a nightmare for me, and I wouldn't be applying for that job. So you're just going to have a dialogue. It's going to prompt you for questions, follow-up question. Okay. Provide more details on the most impactful personal assistant duties. Okay, so it's a little generic, but it's going to give you like suggestions to kind of trigger. I am sharing my screen, right? Okay. So it's gonna guide you through the process. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it will walk you through making sure your resume is current. And then once it's current, it's going to like redo your resume to make it more aligned with the job description. And it's going to highlight keywords from the job description, make sure they're in your resume if, applicable. And then once your resume is good, it's going to ask you, what format do you want it in? And it'll give you a link to a new resume. Of course, you're gonna want to, edit it, and it's not going to be like anything that's ready to send. But I tested it with a friend of mine, and it was like the resume, like the wording of it was great, but like we still had to clean up the formatting. So but it make sure to give you a resume that's ATS compliant, that that highlights the job description that you're going after. And then from there, it'll walk you through creating a cover letter. I made sure to say that it was super important to make sure that it's not like a generic cover letter that that it really pulls from your resume, so it doesn't look like a AI generated. I'm losing my voice, you guys, I'm sorry. So that's what I have for you guys. It's a long process, but you don't have to like think. Like it's gonna prompt you for every question. And I just thought that that would be useful. So let me check the chat real quick. Swati, emails and recordings for this session. Sorry, confused. Can you come off of mute and
Hi, sorry. Yeah, my voice is a little glitchy too. I was just wondering when you send these recordings after the sessions, I've missed a few. I don't think I get those, but I'm on the invites. I was just wondering what email do you send it from? And
yeah, so I don't typically send the recordings. I have them all like archived and sent to my developer for when EA Wiz goes live. And they'll be available to you for free. But I don't send them after each meeting unless it's like something you're dying for. Then you can always like reach out to me. But they're not typically available like right after the session. It's not like I don't automatically send them out. But I do have them saved and they'll all be available. Hopefully I'm looking at March 15th for the site to go live. But as far as Molly's session, which was such a huge hit, that one I can send you, her docs. Or if you missed last week's session, the doc that I made, happy to reach out or happy to email you those. But as far as the recordings for the meetings, that's not something that I am able to send out right now. Sorry.
yeah, no, thank you for clarifying. And I
Sure.
would really appreciate if you could send the docs. I don't even get the docs. And yeah, you're right. Molly's session was a hit. I
Oh,
attended
so great.
and I was having a major FOMO. So
Ah.
yeah, I would love to. And from your session too. That'd be
Swati,
great.
did you put your email in the chat already?
I'm gonna do that again.
Okay, great.
Just in
And
case,
then
yeah.
afterwards, I'll be able to just pull up what I did last week. I just copied and pasted the whole chat transcript. I plugged that into ChatGPT. Yeah, and you can always reach out to Molly. And it gave me like a listing. So that's it. That's all I've got for this test. We're gonna have the VimCal guys joining shortly. Did I stop sharing? Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so let's talk topics for next week. Give me some ideas for topics that you guys are interested in for me to work on. Feel free to come off of mute, or if you can't talk, drop something in the chat. What are you guys interested in?
I haven't asked for help.
Yeah,
I need a volunteer too to help me test some AI that I'd love to share with everybody, but I don't want to share it with
I'm in.
everybody. And
I'm
you
in.
know what it is.
I'm in.
I'll
Annie,
totally
make sure
help
you listen to
also.
what-
Molly, you've got my info, or you've got my yeah. Just email me. Absolutely.
Millie or Annie, listen to what the help is for.
Oh,
Yeah, I need some See, I practice zero inbox, and I'm not employed right now, so I need some demos to go in to email inboxes. There's an AI that I found that I believe could clean everything and make it beautiful if it does what it says it does. But I know that there's some, usually privacy things or policy, but like if anybody has like an old Gmail or something that they have all their crap go to or something, and we could just go in and try this piece out, I will love you forever.
That
Can I
sounds,
ask a question? Do you mean, because this is a problem that I have, like if I have a Hotmail account,
Yep.
you're saying that you have an AI that can go through my 10,000 unopened emails?
Yes,
Oh, then please,
yes.
Yes.
where's the reaction
I
button?
need you, and that's perfect. Like an
Oh my
old
God. And by
Hotmail.
the way, I'm getting messages that supposedly I'm at 95 or 98% like capacity. So
Okay.
it's like desperately in need of a cleanup. It's just so overwhelming
Yes,
that I don't even
exactly.
know where to
So
begin.
I think
Yes.
I have a solution for it. And a lot of us have leaders or people in our lives. So one, I just need to hop on probably like an hour and like record the session and see even if it works, right? Does this do what we want it to do? And then I'll go to the developer and find out about the legal stuff, the privacy, everything, and get like a one pager, usually that you'd have to share with compliance or your leader, just to have that already pre-done. So, but it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
you
like,
guys, Molly saw my email somehow. I don't know. I sent her a screenshot of something, but my Gmail has 62,800 unread emails, and she had a panic attack. And
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
I'm the
It's like,
same.
she's
I
like,
said,
let's demo your account, but I
you know
don't.
what? I said
Yeah.
10,000 because I felt embarrassed. It's really
Yeah.
like over 100,000. Like I didn't even want to throw in the real zero. It's
Yeah.
insane.
bless you.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
someone
We're
wants
gonna look
to,
at.
Molly, I'm in too for my personal. I can't do my work
Yeah,
because
I
of the
figured
privacy
that.
issues, but I have Gmail and Outlook. So if you'd
Okay,
like to use one with one and another with the other, that's fine.
okay. So maybe if I try to put together a small group, little think tank, I'll have it all ready to go. So it shouldn't take us too long. So we'll see how it goes.
Molly,
I'm
count me in as well. I have many unread emails, which I don't want to say how many on Gmail. So please count me in for that group. I would love to be part of the
Okay.
project.
Just put your names in the chat, please.
I'm in
I would,
Molly, and I sent you a private message with my email address.
Perfect. That's even better.
I would hit, okay, so are you asking, hi, by the way, everyone, my name is
hi,
Melody.
no.
I haven't really spoken up
Hi.
on this group before, but I've enjoyed being a part of the group. So Molly, so my question is, I may be an oddball because I panic if I have more than 50 unopened emails in my inbox.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily for me, but I think I could help my, executives and people in leadership, get a hold of their inbox and just kind of maximize their time with that. Would you only want people's personal emails or,
For a test,
um,
yes. Like let's do
okay,
proof of concept first before we go into leadership anything. Because I'd rather
I'm
have you
putting
be
my,
able to take it to your leader as a proven test where you can say, no, I've tested this. This is, so
mhm. I just put my email in the chat.
okay.
Is that what you wanted us to do?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then I had Courtney,
Yeah.
you were asking for suggestions for next week.
Yes.
Um, I'm having an issue with my career, and maybe this is not the time to bring this up, but long story short, I am in the process of looking for another role. My headquarters has relocated with our new leadership, and anybody that's unable to relocate has to look for another job. So
Hmm.
by the end of this academic year, we run on academic years with where I work. So by the end of this academic year, I will be needing to transition.
I'm sorry.
Um, no, thank you. You know what? It's a blessing. Getting to the point where I decided this isn't for me and I've gone as far as I can go,
Yeah.
has been a blessing. So I'm looking to, and I don't know if anybody else can relate, I'm looking to personally brand. And ChatGPT has been extremely, extremely helpful in helping me to realize that's what I need. That's what's next for me in my career. I have a 20 plus year career as an EA, and my title now is not EA, but I serve, heavy in that function. My roles just kind of like drifts back and forth between chief of staff, EA, and director of administration. So I need help branding myself. With I need AI help to get me out there in a authentic way that's real for me. Like I don't want to have to, be somebody that I'm not online. And I just want to, I need help with that. And then I don't, and again, this may not be the right forum for this or the right opportunity. So I don't know if there's any type of, ChatGPT has been great with suggestions on how to position myself, but like you just gave him, helpful information about how to like make your resume sound like it's from you and it's authentic and it can make it fit for any job. Like maybe, I don't know, something on, how to take that a step further in branding ourselves. Does that make any sense?
So that's a I'm sorry to hear that you're in that transition period. But my first tip is like literally everything you just asked us. Like I would type that into ChatGPT and like that's the best way. Like just by going into like detail about what it is that you're looking for, like give them that dialogue. And if you don't want to type all that, like use the audio, right? And just say all of that. Like I always say it, if you're going to use the audio, always say, don't interrupt me. If there's a pause, just go with it and don't interrupt me because otherwise it's going to drive you crazy. It's going to be like, so I understand. So anyway, but like honestly, say all that to ChatGPT and it will like come up with a tailored, like, okay, a brand, let's build your brand. And something else I've learned recently is like the prompt that I shared today for that resume, like to say, ask me one question at a time and let's create a dialogue that will allow you to give me the best output. Like rather than it asking me like 10 questions, because then I'm like, paste enter. If I hit enter, it's gonna send, like, and then I just get frazzled. Like I just say, ask me one question at a time. Or I'll say, ask me any questions to clarify what it is that I'm asking you to help you give me the best output. But I think just literally saying that verbatim to ChatGPT, as far as branding and things like that, I think you'll find that it's going to be super, super helpful. So, Susie, if did you have a question, or otherwise I see the guys from VimCal are joining, and
I was just curious about the newsletter tool, but we can have the other people do their thing first. That's fine.
yeah, Molly has a great newsletter tool, I think, or one, maybe not great, but one that no.
Well, it's not necessarily building, it's a management piece.
Okay, we'll make
Come
sure
back to that, yeah.
save time for that. So no, it's but we can talk newsletters after, but I'd like to introduce the guys from VimCal who are on today. We've got Johnny and Michael. I'm not sure if anyone else is here, but
No, just the two of us.
okay, hi guys, welcome. Thanks for joining. I thought it would be great for you guys to, ask the group any questions that would be helpful for you guys, like to get some feedback.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have you.
Great. Well, thanks so much for the intro, Courtney. Johnny, I think you want to start first, or do you want me to just go ahead?
We have a little bit of context. I think we're jumping in this really hot.
Yeah.
This is definitely, it looks like an amazing group. I assume we're all admin professionals here.
Yes.
Could you share a bit of background for kind of this meeting, and then
Yeah.
what
Sure. So we're all executive assistants who the group started. We were there were a few of us from World 50 who were super into AI. And then when I was leaving World 50, we wanted to kind of continue the talks that we were having. So I started this weekly meeting. It's grown, like in 4 months, it's grown from like 10 to 400 people. And there's we're just all super eager to, learn what we can to stay ahead of the curve with AI. We demo tools and just, share insights and things like that. So we meet every Wednesday, and like we had Matt from Execify on to kind of, do a demo of his. We'd love to have you guys on at a future date
Yeah.
to demo VimCal. But we're all just really excited about AI and want to learn everything that we can. So this is where we meet up weekly to do that.
Got it.
Great.
And then, just for context for everyone, yesterday Courtney shared her calendar audit tool with us, and we were super excited by that. It was very helpful because, backing it up further context, Michael and I, we work at VimCal, and we built a product called VimCal EA. It's a calendar that's specifically designed for executive assistants. So simple things like if you schedule a lot, then this is definitely a helpful tool for you because you don't need to type all the times. For example, you don't need to type all the times when you're sending out times. You can just kind of drag on the calendar, copy paste, and you're good to go.
Yeah, we do holds, like something that we would take a lot of pride in is like helping you convert time zones, helping you create holds, helping you schedule with multiple execs, manage your Zooms. So all of that, like most of the, your core workflows we productize, and one, we make it easier to do, and also two, we make it less error prone, right? Because like it's, when anyone is managing 5 different time zones, it's like mistakes are common.
But where this kind of ties into here is that with Courtney's calendar audit tool, I heard about it from EA Mafia, and then I had to reach out to Courtney. Managed to get a hold of her. She shared the demo with us. And why it's helpful for us is because we have a feature called metrics, and it's kind of meant to be this calendar audit. And so getting kind of feedback from Courtney in terms of like what really matters for the exec and how it can actually be helpful, then we can implement that to improve our metrics feature. So now you guys all have the context for kind of how we know Courtney and why we're here. But then it sounds like, so Courtney, you reached
Yeah,
out.
so I didn't mean to put you guys on the spot. I just thought that
No.
you were like mid-meeting, and I just know
Yeah,
that
I'm
there's
happy
different-
to.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
I'm happy to go because I want to, like, I know your time is really valuable, so I don't want to waste any more time.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen, and can you guys see my screen, by the way?
Yes.
Cool. So this is one of our test accounts, right? I can't really use my own account, but this is one of our test accounts. And as you can, there's not that many meetings, which is we can. I'm happy to do like what you mentioned. I'm happy to do a full demo of
Yeah.
VimCal later. If you guys want to
Happy
sign
to
up, you go
schedule
to
that for
yeah.
sure.
If you guys want to see it earlier, you can go to vimcal.com/EA. We're happy to do demos, like one-on-one demos. So let's focus on the metrics portion. And again, like I would love feedback from everyone about like what you would want to see as part of our metrics. Oh, sorry, I pressed too many keys.
Mhm.
Sorry, okay. So inside our metrics, we do this every week basically. And you can split it based on your exec, right? And we show you how much time you spent in meetings, daily average, meeting hours, total number of meetings in your busiest day. We also have this function called switch cheese, which we learned from talking to EAs, which is like how many little gaps execs have between their meetings, right? Because it's like it's so hard to context switch, right? And like if you have a 30-minute meeting, a 15-minute gap, and then 30-minute meeting, it's like it's hard to get anything done that 15-minute gap. So this switch cheese is a way to show how much like wasted little blocks that you have. We also automatically capture internal and external. So obviously external meetings are almost always more important. Internals are less important, right? And then we kind of have like a trailing 12 weeks. We also have tags. I don't have a lot of tags set up, but we actually have auto tagging. So you can say like, hey, if this meeting has board meetings in it, then we label it as a board meeting. Or anything else, right? So like, hey, if this meeting contains attendees with the domain like at let's say a Goldman Sachs work in finance, right? Then we tag that meeting as a Goldman Sachs meeting. And then people you've met with, just like all the people you've met with this week. Really, really short, kind of like very simplified overview of it. But this is what we have, and we do this every single week. We send you an email, and you can also access the metrics inside our app. Right now we're planning to expand this into monthly as well as quarterly. Yeah, that's kind of like the 2-minute summary. And we'll love to hear what you guys want to see more of, what we can build to help you. And yeah, like I'm happy to take feedback, everything else.
First of all, thanks, Michael. First of all, it's beautiful, right?
Thank you.
And if not next week, if you guys aren't available next week, then we'd love to have you like the week after, but we'd love to see a
Yeah.
demo.
Yeah, we can
We'll-
definitely make next week work.
Perfect.
So yeah, we can schedule that. Yeah.
Perfect. We can plan on that, but this is beautiful. And I always say regarding like my calendar, if you can use like an actual tool that like that you can integrate with your Outlook or Gmail, I'm assuming this is compatible with both, yes?
Yeah, so just maybe some caveat. So we support both Google and Outlook. We also have all the security certificates you can ever imagine. So we're, SOC 2, ISO, everything underneath the sun. And something else I think that's special, I know this is an AI group, and I think a lot of companies, like my wife is at New York Times, for example, and she can't use ChatGPT at her work because, they train their data, right? Like it's kind of dangerous to actually just share your calendar information with AI. What we have is that we have a zero retention policy with Anthropic. So none of the data you feed into VimCalc ever gets used to train their models. And that is like guaranteed on their side. So we are heavy into security because I know the execs you support that is like something they care deeply about. So we make it easy. I mean, none of this is AI, right? We built this from scratch. But we do have AI features, and I just want to make a note that like we are heavy into security. And if you want to turn off all AI features, it is like one button for us to turn all this off. But again, there's no AI here. But this is purely just like the data that you have in your calendar, and we feed it into we create like analytics around it. And yeah, and if and I think this way you don't have to like worry about feeding your data into an AI and having the AI train and having to spill out in like different weird ways. So just kind of want to make that caveat.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, we're excited. Let's shoot for next week for like the full demo. But as far as like feedback regarding the analytics, I think that's going to be like the key, because you guys know you're not the only like player in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
For calendars, but I think that the insights that you're able to provide and like the metrics, I think that's what would set you guys apart. So if anyone happy to give feedback on like what kinds of like reporting and what kinds of data we'd like to see. So let's start it off. I know the question you asked last night is like what would be the ideal like time period to look at analytics. I thought it was quarterly for myself. Do you guys have any feedback on like when you would like to see like quarterly, annually? Like I think what are your thoughts on like a month period? Is that something you guys would like to see, or is that I felt that like quarterly was better just because a month, there could be travel, there could be I thought that quarterly was just like a good base. But if you guys have any thoughts on like what sorts of like reporting or data you'd like to see, if you were to have like a calendar app or a calendar tool, like what would your executives be interested in seeing? Like a breakdown of like, okay, one-on-one. I love the tagging feature. That's awesome. But I'll let you get into that more next week.
Yeah, and I'll have all this set up for a demo next week.
Yeah,
this is a
that'll be
little,
awesome.
yeah, I'll make sure all this is set up beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it'd be so valuable, like to be able to go to my boss and say, look, you're spending this amount of time in one-on-ones, you're spending this amount of time working on X project that has a name that we've tagged. Like, I think that's super helpful. Does anyone have any input for the guys on like what you'd like to see? Molly, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have any thoughts?
Why do you gotta do that? No, I have thoughts, but I need to actually play with it a little bit, which I haven't had the opportunity yet.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was
Um,
Molly. Hi, Molly.
Hi.
Hey, Molly, yeah. If you
Corresponded
want
a little
to,
bit back and forth.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to, we can also send you a link to sign up. But again, like, it's not like you have to put your credit card down or anything. But yeah, we'd love to just get your feedback and.
Mine's more because I'm unemployed right now. So I don't have any like work, like test, use cases. And that's what I need in order to see and kind of play with it and figure it out. So, I mean, I'm happy to do it and play with it. I mean, my first thought is, so I looked at, the data there. For me personally, things that I have found really valuable that I can show, and I don't know how you do this, it'd probably be in how you tag things. It's going to be how many priority 1 meetings do you see versus priority 3? And how do you strategically kind of already flag those? I don't know. This is me totally imagining this. So
Yeah,
it's
sure.
almost like an alert system that's like, if it knows that I put in like, so let's say okay, here we go. Let's say my leader says to me, Molly, in the hierarchy of meetings, do not ever move a one-on-one. My people are the most important. I will talk to them before I see the board, right? And then I have leaders who will do the exact opposite. Always move one-on-one. So
Yep.
it would be more of an intuitive thing that would say, don't put that there or flag that there, or like a proactive, like how many meetings, how many ones did you move from 3s? Like
Yeah. So
prioritization, matrix-ish.
yeah. So what's
Weird.
interesting, and so here's how we think about it. And again, please let me know if this is incorrect, right? So we actually offer like let's just say this is a one-on-one meeting, right? And I'm gonna add my work calendar. You guys can definitely say hi to me. And let's make this like every week, right? Just kind of a random test event, right? Um, and so you can actually set up auto tags. So for example, I can say one-on-one meetings, let's say those are the most high priority, right? I can make this orange, and then I can say any title that contains one-on-one, I can save it. And now this event is actually orange, right? So when you're moving it, you don't have to be like, oh, I don't like it's like I love colors. My calendar is like very colorful and it makes it easier for me to organize things, right? So with this, you don't have to worry about go through and tag every single event individually. You just go, oh yeah, this is a one-on-one. This is really important. I should not move this, right? Or if you're like, hey, this is green and I should move this. So let's say you're like, well, any color, any events that are green, I should move it, and then you save it, and now this event is green, right? And the best part is that all this is localized, so your exec do not actually see this, right? So their calendar is not green, orange, purple. Their on their version of the calendar is just blue.
Love
But
that,
this,
by the way.
That's exactly pretty much what I'm talking about. So this is phenomenal. I love this.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and again, like in our setting, like you can we can get into it more later, but you can get pretty extensive with this, right? You can do like combination of like title, attendees, location. So you can filter this down to a high granularity, or you can just keep it like I just care about title, right? So yeah, our product philosophy is that we make it really easy to go in, but we also allow you to go really in depth with all of your processes. So yeah.
Laura, you mentioned something about polling features to find the best time that works for all attendees. So we do have features for that as well.
Yeah. So we literally have a feature called spreadsheet, right? And let's say, again, I'm just going to test myself and I'll also add Johnny, right? And this is actually we learned about this idea, or we thought about this by working with like all EAs that we talked to. Let's just say this is board meeting, right? So let's say you're like, this works for a board meeting, this works for a board meeting, this works for a board meeting, this works for a board meeting. And now, you can actually just go here and say like, let's say we're the two boards, right? Like this works, will be in car, etc. And then they can also fill it out in their own time zone, right? So you can be like, oh, I'm actually in Los Angeles, and I can say this works for me, this time works for me, this time works for me. So that's how, yeah, that's kind of one example. And I think this is kind of a polling feature, right? And I think everyone's heard of Doodle, and we also have a version that's similar to that without all the ads, right? Because like we know you can't send Doodle to execs with like all the ads laid all over, right? So
and it doesn't matter if it's Google, Microsoft, like
does not matter.
You just talked about.
Yep, we support Google, Outlook.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I know like at Blackstone, like my CISO was like, do not like, I love color, and he did not want any kind of categories. I'm like, okay, well then I'm not going to be able to like, give you like a breakdown of, if you're fully against like categories, but to be able to do that like outside and not affect his calendar, that's great.
Yeah, we also support categories. So if they're like, I want you to categorize everything, you can categorize it. And so we kind of support both direction, also just like yourself.
And you can do multiple tags.
You can do multiple tags. Yeah, yeah. So I can do I can do, so this is one-on-one right now, right? And let me just create a tag and I can make this test and make this grape, right? So now I can actually also do test and I'll have both colors on it, both test and auto tag.
And then can you get a report for everything that's like been
Yep.
scheduled for each tag, like for a project
Yep.
name? Like,
We don't do it per tag right now. We do it per
okay,
week. So this is, this event is on 24th to 28th. So every Sunday at like around midnight Eastern time, we'll
yeah,
generate the report, and then the report will have all your tags.
okay. And
how much time
how
is-
much does we'll look at the site, but or next
Yeah.
week I'll let you get into that on the
Yeah.
demo. But yeah, that's really exciting.
Thank
Love
you.
that. Does anyone have any
Thank you
feedback
for the
for other
excitement.
things they'd
I have a
like in the
question.
recording? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
hi. This looks great. In terms of security, when you do the demo, can you also provide the layers of security that you do have in place? Because
Yeah.
my boss is my manager is the CISO, so there was something I had shown him another platform, and he was like, "Nope, absolutely." And I goes, "They're almost there, but they're not." So if there's
Yep.
something that I can go to him and say, "Hey, this is what they've got in place,"
Yeah,
that would be
done.
great.
We will share our entire security file and basically has everything. Yeah, it's basically just everything, and we've not had not problem. We have not had problems when we give that to like, public companies.
Great.
So it is security is like our number one thing, right? Because like like there's no data leakage and yeah.
And do you
Perfect.
have
Yeah.
like clients that are or customers that are like finance, like that have
Yeah.
SEC compliance issues and or HIPAA?
Yeah, we have public companies.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I think our biggest customer, like NVIDIA's entire investment team uses us.
Okay, great.
So
That's great
yeah.
to know.
So
Awesome.
kind of like public and finance.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah, I love
yeah.
it.
Hey, Shannon actually has a interesting question for calendar items with like overlapping tags. So if a tag affects like 3 or 4 different events, are you able to see multiple colors associated with all of those tags? Like,
We cannot see, that's a great question. Right now we cannot, and only because um uh we allow you to rank it. And I think from what we've learned, most workflows we've talked to, it's most like a priority thing instead of like multiple. So granted, like that's something we can support in the future. So far that has not been something that's been heavily requested. And I think it could actually just make your calendar a little too rainbowy. But
we
yeah,
do
I think
we do the color gradients though, if you have
we do. Yeah,
overlapping.
we do merging, and merging event, and maybe I can use my own calendar to show this. You guys give me 1 second. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
So this is sorry, let me go to the VimCal. So this is my personal calendar, right? As you can see, my wife and I, we do date nights and we're doing taxes this
Aw.
weekend. Yeah. So I imagine your execs are, oh, sorry.
Oh, I see the gradient.
Uh,
Awesome.
yeah, it's sorry, I have way too many tabs. As you can see here, sorry, let me it is, sorry, I am actually on a test build, so if you give me like 30 seconds, I can log into
Yeah.
our
Yeah, sure. To be fair, guys, like I pinged Johnny like 10 minutes after this meeting started and I was like, hey, if you guys want to jump up, like there was no like heads up whatsoever. So
No, all good. Yeah,
hey, you guys
we're
joined.
happy. We are really happy just to be here.
Yeah, we live for this. So
Yeah, so okay, so let me show. So again, my personal, and this is like my other personal that's shared to my work, and I think that's quite common for a lot of people, right? So we have this feature if you disable merge, and it's also my mom's birthday today. So a lot of personal events on my calendar. And most time you see events like this, right? And I imagine you're on Google or Outlook, you just have duplicates. We have this feature called merge. You can actually merge your events together. So now you're like, well, this is really easy to read because it's just date night, right? And then now I have both green and purple on my work for my personal is on my work is purple, but on my primary for my personal is green. So this is kind of yeah, it's one way to make it easier to see events. Yeah.
So I brought this up because we already have the infrastructure to kind of merge tags if that was something interested, if that was
Yep.
something we're really interested in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Wow. Great. Yeah, we,
Kind of gave half a demo.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I just like, we get excited. Like we all love anything to do with a clean calendar or anything to help
Yeah.
with calendaring, right? That's, I think,
You
everyone's
know,
number one pain point.
yeah. I think something special about our team and not, it's something we do is that we onboard everyone. So as a team, we're not like a multi-hundred person team. We're a team of like 15, right? We've done tens of thousands of onboardings. So we've talked to almost, we've seen like so many different calendars. And I think when we build our product, we very much think about, um, we think about people with a lot of meetings. That's our core audience, right? So execs, um, EAs, right?
Yeah.
Like these are our core audience. And yeah.
And how long
I'd
have you
like
guys
to
been,
ask-
how long have you had VimCal?
Yeah, so VimCal's been around since 2020, and I think someone asked what prompted you to create this product.
Yeah.
So me and my co-founder, when we went through this tech combinate or incubator called YC, when we were pivoting from our last business, we love calendars. Like I love productivity tools. I am very like punctuality matters a lot to me. I think my wife would say it matters a little too much. Um, so yeah, so on the consumer side, that I was at Microsoft and I was managing a team in both Prague and Australia, and I remember downloading every single calendar on the App Store, thinking none of these fit my needs. And at some point when we were pivoting, I was like, I should just build the thing that I've always wanted. And after we built it, it turns out, thousands of other people also want what we've built. So that's on the consumer side. On the VimCal EA side, we found that a lot of execs, they'll sign up for VimCal, but they're like, actually, like my EA manages my calendar. And when we talk to EAs, we realize EAs are just calendar super users. And everything that we've learned from EAs have actually made our consumer product better. So we have two different products, but through our conversation with EAs, we've learned a lot, and two, we've realized there's such a dearth of just a lack of tooling for EAs to really do their job. And yeah, we've like loved working with EAs, and we want to build tools so that they can, so you guys can do the things that really matter, right? Which is like the strategic, the personal work, and not just like managing calendars and looking at like, oh, Mexico City's daylight saving time changed by an hour, right? Like
Right.
these are things that like you shouldn't have to think about. We should, right? So yeah, that's kind of the 90
Oh,
second
that was the
summary.
worst, trying to schedule a meeting with the UK and trying to remember, is London's time zone, has it changed
Oh
yet?
yeah.
Are they 4
I mean,
hours ahead? Or are they 5 hours ahead?
so just to go back, right? Like time zone, like I'm in EST, but you're like London. You can type in any city in the world and we'll change all your time to that London time. And you're like, well, I'm also trying to schedule for Berlin. And you could just go boom. And then you're like, we also show you work hours. You can be like, well, I am free this time, and this time. We can copy this to your email. So like, we take a lot of pride in time zones. We take a lot of pride in making sure that you're able to do your job quickly, efficiently, but also without any errors. Yeah,
Yeah, we're super excited. I'd love to have you guys on next week to do like a full demo, but I think, we've had, like I said, we've had, Execify on before. We've had, I know
yeah,
you have competitors. We'd love to hear like what kind of sets you apart next week. Like,
definitely.
uh, I love the tags though. I mean, that's that's so far from what I've seen. And I haven't even played with VimCal yet, but I know you guys are, one of the key players. So the tagging feature is amazing.
Thank you.
And I think the insights are what matters most, at least to EAs, But yeah,
Yeah,
the polling and the time zones, all that's great.
thank you. Yeah, I'm also like, I want to pay it forward, right? So if you guys are talking about AI tools, like things on the horizon, like I'm happy to like help kind of like demystify some of these things. Um, yeah, I'm the CEO of the company, and I think I also have a lot of friends in the industry. So like if only if you guys want me here, right? But if you guys didn't really, hey, like we're trying to understand what's happening, trying to understand how this like affects, my job and or like my workflows, whatever. I'm happy to help and kind of like demystify some of the more technical aspects of things. Only if you guys actually want me here. So just throwing that offer out there.
Okay, thanks. Ilka, what you got? Suggestion?
Yeah, so I just wanted to share with you like my struggle. I'm in the Outlook environment,
Yep.
and so I am not in love with the scheduling tool. Like, let's say I have to schedule a meeting with 10 people, and looking at that grid, it's not great. I'd go to the Outlook online, which is a little better and
Mhm.
helpful, but sometimes it doesn't seem 100% accurate. So my question is, or my feedback is, are you thinking about how to make that easier? Like, can the AI like recommend a time to us and say, to me, yeah, well, these 10 people can make it
Oh,
on March 6th.
oh yeah.
Do you
You
follow
are
that?
preaching to the
Finder.
choir. Let me show you.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
I'm gonna just show some of my work events, right? And I'll toggle. Let me just like make this as busy as possible, right? So, uh, when you create an event here, and uh, sorry, let me just clean some of this up. So let's say I'm trying to create an event, right? And then I want to add my teammate. I'm just gonna add my personal because you guys already seen my personal calendar, right? Um, we actually have, you know what? So maybe my personal won't work. Johnny,
this
can
is
I
what we
share your
would see,
calendar?
right? This
Yeah,
is the
my calendar
interface
is
right
totally
here.
fine. My
Okay,
calendar.
so I'll add Johnny's calendar, right? And we can say like find times, and we actually just find all the free times. So you can add as many people, and then it just shows up all the free times available for you.
Assuming
And
you
this
have
shows up because
access
this
to
is a
their
free event.
availability, right?
Yeah. So um, not only do we look at events that exist, we also care about free busy, right? So this is our security policy meeting with our engineers, and this is a free event, right? So if I were to like create a meeting with Johnny again, um, and just click find times, like this actually shows up as free. So you can just be like, oh yeah, like this works, and then boom, create the event right there. And then it will automatically create it. And there's no AI, right? So and I think like a lot of this feels like AI. And I just want to say like AI still makes a ton of mistakes. So I think there is like actual AI versus things that feel like it's like magical, but there's actually no AI. So for a feature like this, there's actually no AI. It's just a lot of math, and we find the opening slots, right?
Yeah.
And there's guarantee that this is bulletproof. So it will never hallucinate. It will never find, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. I'll give you that. Like
Thank you.
the interface, like to look at it, like compared to other, you know, uh, I
We
love
agree.
other software as well, but I gotta say yours is the prettiest to look at, for
Thank
sure,
you. Really appreciate
without
that.
having
Thank you.
seen the demo yet. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Yeah,
have a
I
quick
think,
question.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So that looks terrific, and it's great that you can find a slot that's open on everyone's calendar. Is there a setting where if someone cannot make that time, I'm sorry, if it looks blocked on their calendar, but they are able to make that time, is there a
Hmm.
way to ask them to or to find out if they could accommodate that slot? I know my
Um,
question is slightly vague there.
yeah,
But
I think that feels like something we can't just like put in the
yeah.
product only because that's probably something you have to reach out, right? And I will say like I know there's a lot of AI tools out there, and like just to kind of iterate on like Carla's comment, right? And I'll give you a really good example of why AI cannot compare to EAs, right? So there's a lot of tooling, a lot of calendar apps out there that basically help you reshuffle your calendars. You can like maximize productivity, right? And I'm a former engineer, and like for me that works great because all my meetings are internal. Other engineers, like who cares, right? I can schedule it from 2 to 3. No one's gonna like bat an eye. If you're an executive, that's not the case. You cannot just randomly shuffle meetings around. There's way too much context. Right, all these things that AI will never know about the executive. Um, so like that's one very, very clear example where like those kind of products won't work for the executive for the execs based on their workflow. And that's kind of AI that we like avoid, right? So there's like you are very much in the driver's seat, and it's not just like, oh, magic things happen, and you're like, was that good magic or bad magic, right?
Mm.
Everything we do is like you are in the driver's seat, and nothing happens until you click save. So that's like very much a part of our product philosophy.
Do you guys have time do you have a 1:30 or are you able to answer another question?
I can definitely answer. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
gotta
Carla, go
bounce.
ahead.
But
Yeah. Thanks, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny, thanks. I'll talk to you offline.
thank you.
You're muted, Carla. There you go.
Oh, I still can't hear Carl. Can you guys?
Yeah, no, we can't hear you, Carla. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Um, oh, so this is what you send to like when you're booking like a meeting with, we can't hear you, Carla. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna guess here. Okay. Okay, this is what you send out to like all the EAs that for who you're booking for a large meeting. First of all, it's beautiful. Second, can I
Yeah.
steal it?
Yeah, I think if I understand this correctly, I think our spreadsheet feature basically handles, you can just send that out and it should handle all of this, right? Like I think one of the things I'm seeing is that you have different time zones, like between mountain, central, and what makes it more confusing is that, if you're in Arizona, Arizona itself has two different time zones, right? Um, yeah. So I know how painful all this is. Like I'm deeply, deeply aware. And I think it's also more error prone if someone who doesn't know that Arizona has two time zones, they could fill two different things.
I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, and also a lot of countries are actually currently changing their time zones. So Australian changed it 2 years ago, Mexico City changed it last year. So why you shouldn't keep up with that, right? That's something we should keep up with. And by sending it out, like we fix all of this um, and yeah, like I think our feature basically would make this would kind of like so you don't have to do this every time and also would make it more bulletproof and error prone.
Thanks. Well, Michael, thanks so much for joining. We'd love to have you back next week for a full demo.
I would
You
love to be
in?
back. Yeah, I'm definitely in. I'll let Johnny
Sure.
yeah, let's find time. We'll find time no
Yeah,
matter
we'll talk.
what. Yeah, and then yeah, again, offers out there if you guys ever want me to kind of like demystify some things around what's happening, like more than happy to. Even if it's like not VimCal related, right? So I'm happy to, yeah.
VimCal.com, yeah?
VimCal.com/EA.
And maybe
And then we'll
next
also,
week you'll have some sort of promotion that you can offer.
yeah,
Possibly.
definitely. Yep, we'll definitely have set that up. That
Awesome.
sounds great.
Or a demo.
We
Yeah,
can
we're
both. Why
excited.
not both, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
I'll see you
Michael.
later.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Totally put him on the spot there. Like they were
That's
not.
great. No, that was great. I have a question.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a follow. So we've had Execify, was it called?
Yeah, look, I feel
No.
gross. I feel gross even talking to VimCal because I love Execify so much. But
No.
I
But
just want,
you're doing the right thing because
yeah,
it's not a one size fits all,
yeah,
right? And what will work for some of us won't work for the rest of us, and
yeah.
on it. But has anybody used Execify yet? Because I'm gonna set up a demo with them with two of my colleagues, and I'm just curious if anybody's actually used them since we've had that demo a few weeks ago.
I've only used it for the personal aspect. Has anyone gone further with it? I just see so much potential with Execify. It's like the dream for me personally. It's
Yeah.
like it fits everything I could ever want and more.
Yeah.
But
I presented, that's the one I was talking about when I mentioned the other
Yeah.
platform. I presented it to my boss and he was like, no, they're not there yet in terms of security levels. But I mean, they're still working on it and maybe, I don't know. I still wanted to do a demo with them and just see what their capabilities were and then see what they would, and if it was a contender, then I was going to take the next steps. But
I know Matt's open to like he said to me if you have any, like a no from the higher ups, like tell me what that no is because of, and like
Right.
we will fix it. So like,
Right.
yeah, so,
Okay.
I know VimCal's like, been around longer. And honestly, how beautiful was that? Like the
Beautiful.
interface, like,
Yeah.
so,
It's great. All of these tools have different nuances, right?
Yeah.
And it's whatever works for you and whatever's compatible and whatnot. I mean, there's so many different variables.
yeah, maybe I'll have Haifa on another week to, what is it? ShareCal, is that hers? I think those are the three
Oh,
big
no.
players. Not that Exectify is a big player yet, but I think they're with the potential. I just think, I was glad we had them on, but VimCal's, I think, the leader in.
No, that's great. I direct messaged Johnny and asked him to email me because I wanted to do a demo with them.
Great.
So
Awesome.
so
Well,
he got
let's do the
immediate
demo next
ROI.
week. Yeah, yeah. Annie, side note, are we on for tonight?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Whichever time works better for you works fine for me.
Okay, I have zero life, so whatever, just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, guys. If it was your first session, it's always that, all over the place. I was gonna say it's not always that much of a mess, but it definitely is always, scattered. So, thanks for joining, everyone, and, I have everyone's emails in the chat. I'll send out whatever I'm supposed to send out, and thanks.
Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah, bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. If anyone has any last minute suggestions for the week following the VimCal demo, I need some topics to cover. Give me a tool to deep dive into, or I don't know, something besides resumes and career. If anyone has something you want me to dig into, happy to make that a topic. Otherwise, it's going to be another like mega prompt for something else that can integrate with like Slack and stuff like that. But I'm not really wanting to do that. So if you have a topic, now's the time. Come off of mute, make a suggestion. Otherwise, bye. Okay, bye. Thanks, guys.